So first of all, আমরা জানি যে ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point because of strong ionic bonds. Because of strong ionic bonds. Ionic compounds have high melting and boiling point because of strong ionic bond. এটাকে সুন্দর করে highlight করে লিখবা. If you don't have different colors, please draw a box or highlight it. Then we have to study why there is a difference between the melting and boiling point of these two compounds. That's because due to the difference in the strength of ionic bonds. Difference in the strength of ionic bonds. Now we'll study about factors on which ionic bonds depend on. Factors affecting the strength of ionic bond. Number 1, charge of the ion. Number 2, size of the ion. So if we have a comparative study between sodium chloride sodium chloride and magnesium oxide, we will see that sodium ion and chloride ion, they have a 1+ charge and a 1+ charge. So আমরা ধরে নিলাম they have just one bond. ধরে নিলাম, but that's not true. So আমরা charge of the ion and size of the ion together we call them charge density. Charge density. What is density? What is density?
Mass per volume.
Mass by volume. Mass by volume. Charge density is charge by volume. So sodium size ki. Sodium is 2,8. So our charge is +1 and his electronic configuration is 2,8. Chloride charge holo -1 and his electronic configuration is 2,8,8. On the other hand, magnesium oxide. Magnesium has a charge of +2. Oxygen has a charge of -2. So magnesium charge is +2. Its volume is 2,8. Oxygen is -2 and our volume holo 2,8. So দেখো magnesium although sodium and magnesium have the same size, but magnesium has a higher charge, so it has a greater charge density. So magnesium has a greater charge density. Let's now come to oxygen. Chlorine is -1 and its size is 288. Oxygen is -2 and its size is just 28. It has 2 shells. This has 3 shells. So this has a greater charge as well as this has a smaller size. This also have a greater charge density. This has a greater charge density. So overall আমরা দেখতে পারলাম যে magnesium oxide has a greater charge density than sodium chloride, or magnesium oxide there is greater attraction, so therefore it has stronger ionic bonds. Any question? এটা কিন্তু খুবই টেকনিক্যাল একটা জিনিস, তোমরা যদি না বুঝো you can always question. এটা কিন্তু very technical, না বুঝলে অবশ্যই question me. হ্যাঁ বলো।
স্যার ওই যে সিএলআর ও মানে ক্লোরিন আর অক্সিজেনের চার্জ ডেনসিটিটা আমি বুঝিনি, লাইক মানে কোনটার চার্জ মানে O2 চার্জটা বড় কেন?
O2 চার্জটা বড় কেন? O2 charge বড় because +(-1) or -2, who's gonna have a greater attraction? Who's gonna form a greater attraction? -2 একটা। So একটা তুমি জিনিসটা দেখো, চার্জ ডেনসিটি মানে কি? What is density? Density হলো mass by volume. এখন তুমি 1 kg of cotton and 1 kg of stone, ওদের দুজনেরই mass same, they have the same mass, but দুজনের কি ভলিউম সেম? একটা 1 কেজির পাথর হলো সাপোজ সামথিং লাইক দিস স্মল, 1 কেজির পাথর is something like this, but 1 কেজির তুলা is like 1 বস্তা, মানে it is like one whole bosta of stuff. Who has a greater density? Who has a greater density? The stone, right? So এখানেও দেখো যে অক্সিজেনের চার্জ বেশি, it has a charge of -2 and it also has less number of shells. So obviously our charge density would be higher. So if you imagine the sodium and chloride is attracting each other with just one charge, magnesium and oxygen is attracting them with double charges. So obviously this attraction is going to be stronger. Magnesium oxide's attraction is going to be stronger. Attraction is stronger compared to sodium. Sorry. Its attraction is stronger compared to sodium chloride. সবাই বুঝছো? Is everybody clear about this? Why does magnesium oxide have a higher melting and boiling point compared to sodium chloride? Have you understood this?
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
Sir, যদি ম্যাগনেসিয়াম ক্লোরিনের সাথে অ্যাট্রাক্টেড হইতো তাহলে?
magnesium যদি chlorine এর সাথে attracted হতো, obviously magnesium oxide এর থেকে it would have a smaller charge. Video I see some of the videos switched off. Let's get back to this. So anybody has a question about this ionic bonding thing? Ionic bonding এ কোনো question আছে? Guys, I am expecting an answer, feedback from you people.
No.
No.
Okay. Number 2 is number 2 point is ionic compounds are soluble in water. Ionic compounds are soluble in water. So if you remember, I taught you that if we have a compound like sodium chloride, so obviously they're arranged in a lattice. Let's try to draw a structure. This is a lattice structure. So এখানে তোমার ধরো যে obviously এগুলো আরো division হবে, এভাবে division হবে, এভাবে there's going to be a division like this. There's a lot of divisions. So sodium and chloride ions, when they're attracted, they're surrounded by water molecules. And why can they be surrounded by water molecules? Because water molecules, again, due to electronegativity difference, এটা যদি methane হতো, or if this was just hydrogen, they would not have been attracted. But due to electronegativity difference, hydrogen has a positive charge, oxygen has a negative charge. So the oxygen can form some bonds between the oxygen atom and a sodium atom or sodium ion. There's some bonds formed between the sodium ion and the oxygen atom. There's some bonds formed between the chloride ion and hydrogen ion. So obviously এখান থেকে তুমি দেখেই বুঝতে পারছো যে opposite charges are attracting. Opposite charges are attracting. Opposite charges are attracting. So these are called ion dipole attraction. Ion obviously তোমরা বুঝতেই পারছো যে this is an ion. Dipole কি জিনিস সেটা আমরা covalent bonding এ পড়বো, but each step is very important for you to remember, or at least একদিনে হবে না এটা, at least you write your notes properly যখন আমরা রিভাইজ করব the whole chapter so that you can actually get hold of the whole concept. So these are known as ion dipole attraction. So a ion dipole attraction only happens between charges. So এখানে আজকে যদি ওয়াটারের সাথে if we had methane, then there would not have been any attraction. There would not have been any attraction. Therefore, methane is insoluble in water, or organic compounds are insoluble in water. Organic compounds are insoluble in water because they are non-polar molecules. Because they are non-polar molecules. They are non-polar molecules. Only molecules that are charged, just like sodium chloride, they are charged, positive ase, negative ase. The A positive is going to attract this negative, and this negative will attract this positive. That is why ionic compounds are soluble in water. Ionic compounds are soluble in water.
Sir, would you please explain it once again?
Okay. Whose question?
Mine, Wasima.
Okay. So have you understood that sodium has a positive charge?
Yes.
Have you understood chloride has a negative charge?
Yes.
Have you understood that hydrogen has a partially positive charge?
No.
So why does it have partially positive charge? Eta amra covalent bonding e porbo. But at least bujhe nao je hydrogen has a positive charge. Oxygen has a negative charge. So when they're attracting, so sodium oxygen ke attract korche, chloride hydrogen ke attract korche. So eventually what happens? এই ions গুলা ভেঙে যায়. The sodium chloride ion breaks apart. The sodium chloride ion breaks apart, and তখন sodium is surrounded by H2O, 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 OH2. Sodium is surrounded by water, and chloride is also surrounded by water. তখন so sodium একটা positive charge, chloride একটা negative charge. Sodium oxygeনের সাথে attraction হয়ে it breaks up the sodium chloride bond. Oxygen is attracting sodium, hydrogen is attracting chloride. As due to the stretching, the bond breaks and they're separated like this. So এর জন্য এখন দেখো সোডিয়াম আর ক্লোরাইড এখন আলাদা আলাদা হয়ে গেছে, এর জন্য they are now soluble. They are soluble in water. Did you understand?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is third point. এটা তোমরা O levels এ যে কনসেপ্ট ওইটাও এখনই সেম কনসেপ্ট, সেটা হলো ionic compounds conduct electricity in molten state
or aqueous state.
or aqueous state, but not in solid state. But not in solid state. So sodium ion and chloride ion again, যখন ওরা they're arranged in a lattice, they're not free to move. So the charges cannot be carried around. The charges cannot be carried around. Okay? The charges cannot be carried around.
Sir, second point কি লিখছেন?
Solid state. Solid state.
Ionic compound solid state কখন conduct করে?
Does not conduct. Oh, sorry. Ionic compound conduct electricity in molten or solid state, aqueous state, but does not conduct. Does not conduct in solid state. Number 4. Ionic compounds are hard. A lot of energy is required to scratch the surface because of strong forces holding the ions together, They are brittle.
Sir, এসব physical properties গুলো না?
Physical properties, yes.
এই মাত্র না hard লিখলেন আবার brittle.
Hard are
Hard to
brittle.
just scratch.
Hard and brittle. জিনিসটা হলো যে তুমি যদি আজকে একটা পাথর ভাঙতে চাও, you will need a lot of energy. But once you can reach that amount, once you can exert that amount of energy, it will easily break apart. কিন্তু একটা মেটালকে তুমি যদি অল্প একটু force exert করো, it will bend, but it will not break. Could I make you understand, Mahdi?
Yes, you made me understand.
Okay, good. So they're brittle. So ionic compounds may split apart when hit in the same direction as the layers of ions. The layers of ions may be displaced by the force of the blow, so that ions with the same charge come together. Okay, বুঝাচ্ছ না কেন? তোমাকে বারবার বলছিস কেন?
Sir, force of their পরে কি লেখা?
The layers of the ions may be displaced by the force of the blow. Force of the blow. Force of the blow. Force of the blow so that ions with the same charge come together. The layers of ions may be displaced by the force of the blow. By the force of the blow. So এটা লেখো যে so that না লেখে এটা লেখো যে which causes ions with the same charge to come together. তারপর এটার কন্টিনিউয়েশন সেকেন্ড পয়েন্ট যেটা সেটা হলো the repulsions between thousands of ions in the layers, all with the same charge, cause the crystals to split along these cleavage lines. So due to as the ions are coming closer to when you hit them, the positive ions are coming to one side, the negative ions are coming to the other side. Due to this repulsion between the ions, the whole structure breaks apart.
Sir,
Yes.
is this part of 0.5?
Yes, this is part of 0.5.
আর second last wordটা কি লিখছেন along these
Cleavage lines.
cleavage?
So that's all for today. আমাদের